Now Kyle Busch was pretty quick in practice. Remember 2008 when he got the first Cup Series win for Toyota. And he's qualified top 10 here the last 3 races that we've had time trials in Atlanta.
Yeah, he ran a 29.29 in practice, so if he picks up those 3 or 4 tenths like what we've been seeing, and boy, that car is digging through 1 and 2. I mean, it's hunting the bottom of the racetrack.
It is. Jeff Gordon's stay on the pole may be short-lived here.
If he doesn't overdrive turn 3.
Hook in the bottom.
Boy, he picked that throttle up, and look at the clock. Because you're in the throttle wide open right there. It's going to be a great lap for Kyle Busch.
It's going to be about a 70.
P1 28.83. That beats Jeff Gordon by 7/100ths.
Now
seconds, and boy, that's fast. 195.397 miles per hour.
And here come a challenger for Elliott right here. Juan Pablo Montoya in that 42 car, a little bit high off of turn 4 right there,
and it really hurt him all the way off the corner down the front straightaway. But he'll be 3rd quickest. But I'm telling you, this guy has become quite the qualifying animal in the 88 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I think one thing to watch, guys, in the qualifying runs here, these cars are getting into corners much faster than they have in the past. With that tailwind, watch cars getting into 3, and if they shove up the hill a little bit, like Montoya did, I think that could be a problem for a lot of these guys out of 36. So I'm saying, yeah, they're going to win at least 1.
And I think he'll have a good speed weeks, but this is not the measuring stick. The measuring stick's going to be when we get the 1.5, 2 mile tracks like we go to the next 3 weeks when we leave here.
Yes and no. Let me just start. One thing about him and Daytona and Talladega, that's his bread and butter. If he comes out here with the confidence that his car is good and they run good here, I think that's going to really propel him down the road to a victory sooner than maybe we think.
All right, the best first lap so far, Newman at 47.65. Junior has raised the bar.
Hello.
47.46.
This baby ought to go into the 46s, look to me like.
I mean, he ran faster than 3 cars by just on his first lap.
This is Dale Jr.'s 11th Daytona 500. He has started outside the top 10 only once last year.
I saw when we interviewed him there, Mike, I know he looked calm and cool, hat around backwards, got the beard and everything, but I could see there was a little apprehension.
P1 all the way around on that second lap.
And look at this right here. That tells you how much quicker he is than Ryan Newman, over a 10th right now, so he's flirting down around a 47.10 right now.
He started outside pole for the Great American Race in 2003, 47.14. That is 8/100ths faster than Ryan Newman. Marcus Ambrose on track. And this is a backup car because of all the wall slappers of the day. He probably did the most damage to the right rear of his of just about anybody.
Right near the end of that final practice session.
So this will be his first laps in the backup. He got his first top 10 finish of the season last week at Richmond. Marcus is one of those guys. You talk about somebody who will pull the belts up tight and just go for it. Backup car or no, he's going for it. 16th.
I think this could be. Maybe he can pick up on.
Well,
I'd say he picked up a lot. 27.46.
Gosh, 4th place.
He wants to share that front row with Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2nd quickest, 28.78.
20 after
6, 25 after. Would have been a little different for everybody, but you see the bright lights are now on. The sun is dipping below the horizon of the billboards down in turn 1. Brian Vickers' lap was good for 14th, 29.21. And here's Junior, who this week announced a $1 million donation to Victory Junction Gang Camp.
It's going to build the Dale Jr. Corral and Amphitheater for those guys. And I tell you what, look at that tracker. Back to Brian Vickers real quick. We watched what happened to him, just what we were talking about, bottoming out at both ends of the racetrack. This is a great run on Dale Earnhardt Jr. right here.
My man down in the garage, the real men that like to work in the garage, he told me that they made some pretty major changes to this car. And Junior said, go for it, boys.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, that's what he did.
28.76.
Good
for Dale Jr.
Ricky going to do together?
No.
Daryl's going to ride a motorcycle and jump a jump.
It's not every day you have a goat on the show.
No, but you got to explain what that means, right?
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all times.
15 championships for Ricky Carmichael.
You were looking at me with that look like you were calling me a goat. And I just want to explain, if you were, I'm okay with it. based on that.
Yeah, on that explanation, I would be too.
Greatest of all time.
My girls call me a goat head every now and then.
And they don't mean it so nicely, do they?
No, it's not a compliment.
No. Kyle Busch about mid-pack, 7th overall at a 38.24, comes in here second in points.
Got to remember now, he didn't get a lot of practice laps on the racetrack, and so far, everybody's been basically one and done, but now it looks like
just for qualifying trial, your P7.
We're getting ready to try a little something different here with the 18 car.
Pretty obviously he took some notes from his teammate, because he's just behind Logano at a 38.23 and a 38.24, so looks like they match setups pretty good. Doubt that this will be any better. It'll be a surprise.
Nope.
Slowed down about a 10th and a half.
Sort of amped up, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He's ready to go.
Ready to go. Get away. I got to get in this thing. Go.
Marcus Ambrose gained 5 spots in the standings last week, up to 24th with an 11th place finish. He's made 3 trips here to Texas.
Speedway, the Sportsmanship of the Year Award. It's during the Texas Motorsports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony over in the Speedway Club a little later on the night. Going to be a great lap for Marcos, it doesn't look like. He was 30th quickest in practice earlier today. 9th.
28.71 for Ambrose to make his first Cup race of 2010.
Now, one thing that this team did after Atlanta, they made an engine change. They actually migrated to the Earnhardt Childress engines, and so we know they should be in great shape under the hood.
Looks like a good lap. It is. It's better than Nemechek's, and Mears will race on Sunday for the first time this year.
First time in 2010.
Nice job by Keyed Up Motorsports.
I think he's looking for a little bit more. I think that first one was just a security lap.
And he fell off a 10th, Darrell.
Believe it or not, we raced.
Doug Richard.
Doug Richard.
Maybe at this point.
Greg Biffle quick in practice, but spun during nationwide qualifying, and they don't have the U.S. Census on the car this week, but we remind you to send that, get the information from you.
Got your favorite sponsor.
Hit it, 28-28.
Here comes the first of our 3 chase contenders, Jimmy Johnson.
Saw Jimmy doing this. You see him wiggling the car back and forth a little bit, scrubbing the tires. We saw him do this in practice. Apparently it was something that he found in one of the runs that he just didn't like the feel that he had not doing this.
Well, you see going down the back straightaway, you're usually in black marks. When he makes that right-hand turn, you can see black marks on the back stretch.
Jimmy practiced at 3rd, 30.84 seconds. Here we go.
And I think part of this is to come get the green flag, be fast then. If you don't get through 3 to start with, you're giving up some time coming to get the green.
Is very close to Carl Edwards.
It's looking good down the back straightaway.
See that Hendrick horsepower taking over right here, baby.
Here comes the key, turns 3 and 4.
Watch that minimum speed, 161 or 2 miles an hour there. Just a little slower there.
Can he pick it back up? He's 4 100ths off right now, heading for the stripe, and second quick, 30.59 seconds by 4 100ths of a second.
Mark Martin with his new colors for 2010. The 51-year-old from Batesville, Arkansas, had
That team was on fire. I mean, it really were. They did a great job, and other than that last race at Homestead, they had a car to beat every week.
started outside pole in the 500 last year, or in 2007, excuse me. Finished second in 2007, started outside pole last year.
Well, I tell you what, that lap right there, that's a little faster than his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s first lap, 47.42.
They were only hundreds apart yesterday, Larry. Remember, Dale was just a few hundreds faster.
And if you see right there, he's about a 10th quicker than Dale Earnhardt Jr. halfway down the back straightaway.
This will be Mark's 26th Daytona 500 with the best finish of second.
When you look at all the other cars that we've seen, for the most part, bounce around the way they have, and look how smooth Mark's car is.
Darrell, he lost a little bit getting off into turn 3. I mean, it's like laying right there on top of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Maybe just a little quicker, but not much.
They were hundreds apart yesterday.
Pole for Mark Martin, 47.07. 7/100ths of a second faster
191
than Earnhardt Jr.
And we definitely had several cars that went out and qualified with the cowl taped up, and they will not run because it cuts the air off to the engine.
I think we're going to get a pretty good idea, I think, about just how fast this joint is off of Joey Logano here, because as we've always said, these Gibbs cars are usually pretty darn good here at Atlanta, and Joey's got a good year going so far.
Ooh, got close up to the wall there.
That wasn't so good.
Yep, finishes of 20th, 5th, and 6th, Darrell. He is 8th in the point standings. When he ran the Legends cars here on the quarter mile, at age 10, he won 14 straight races here.
Yeah, he's 8th in the points now. This time a year ago, he was 32nd in the points. They were getting nervous about falling outside the top 35.
Here we go, boys. Marcus Ambrose was fastest in practice.
Should be the man right here.
Larry mentioned during practice DW, Marcus Ambrose, 27 wins in 2 years back in Australia in the V8 Supercar Series, exclusively road courses.
He's had some great runs already in the Cup car, you know, on the road courses. Should have won before by now, but I look for him to have a great, strong run here and a good weekend.
Now his time in practice was 1:16.375. He actually made a couple of practice qualifying runs, and they almost mirrored each other near the end of that practice.
2 wins in the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Watkins Glen.
Just that one, just the way he got into turn 7 right there. You hear the engine rev, matching the RPM. He does that heel and toe thing where you got the heel on the brake, the toe on the gas. Really does help you get into a corner without upsetting the car. Now right down through here, this is where a really good road racer can get through here. And he's making time, see?
You can see right there, he is almost right at a second quicker than Jeff Burton to this point.
Whoa, now, that didn't help things much. A little overdrive in that corner, but he got through turn 10 so fast, probably got it into turn 11 there just a little too hot.
Still going to be a great lap for Marcus.
76.809, 93.270 miles per hour.
He was going to back up his practice lap had that not have happened down in turn 11.
Yeah.
Now we see Juan Pablo Montoya head out to qualify, and all eyes will be watching, I think, any of the cars with the Earnhardt Childress engine package. They pretty much have dominated the carburetor restrictor plate races this year. They've won every single one of them, including his teammate Jamie McMurray that won the Daytona 500.
The last time we qualified at Talladega was when Montoya won his first career pole.
And Mike, I think we've got to bring it up because it's been in the news that a lot of speculation right now that as good a success as, you know, Chip Ganassi Racing has had this year, they're talking about maybe switching manufacturing. There is a lot of rumor right now flying through the garage area that they're being heavily courted by the Blue Oval. The Ford company is looking to try to maybe get them to come over and join their team, and they'd give up the ECR power and the Chevrolet technology to do so.
But you know, unlike when Jeff and I were crew chiefs, to make a manufacturer change was huge. You pretty much had to start from ground zero with the cars, the engines, everything. You could take this car right here, change the nose, the tail, and the quarter window configuration, and you could change it into a Ford, a Dodge, or Chevrolet, or anything. The big deal is the technology, the resources, and then obviously making the engine change.
It does raise a big question, though. Why a team that has been leading the league in horsepower for the season and has won the big races doing what they're doing would want to do something different? I guess it's just a business decision.
Have to be, because again, my way of thinking, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I think we're fixing to have a fast speed here on this second lap, because his first lap was 52.62. One of the few cars to run in the 52s on lap 1, and that pretty much was on the high side that first lap.
He is definitely on a pole run.
You know, we were talking to Greg Biffle earlier about the vibration, and a lot of cars had vibrations here yesterday, and I think it was from speculation of a lot of things: drivetrain, RPM, interliners in the rear tires. But Jimmy Finney, who's crew chief for Matt Kenseth, told me, he said, Larry, if something's vibrating, and Montoya definitely goes to the top of the charts at a 51.86, 184.6.
Coming up Marcus Ambrose, you see him there in the 47 car. Then Paul Menard, Andy Lally in the 71 car this week. Bobby Labonte has departed from that race team.
You know, we were talking during that Sprint Cup Series practice. He does not have but one win since Matt won at Auto Club Speedway back last February. And these guys were in a position to win a Sprint Cup Series race. I think that's probably the most devastating. Not that they necessarily lost that race, but how hard it is to put yourself
in the Cup Series. He raced on road courses in Australia for years. And Larry, as you mentioned, he won 27 races in a 2-year span in the Australian V8 Supercar Series. It's just, I think everybody knows that was his best opportunity.
Tell you what, he laid down a pretty good first lap, 11th quickest at a 29 flat. Don't know if he's going to be able to.
Jimmy Johnson, they know what they have to do.
Yeah, he's going to have to pick up a lot from practice, though. Let's see if they made the right adjustment.
Right. He was turning right getting into one. He is wheeling this thing now.
He's got the throttle mashed.
All right, here's going to be the tell sign. Is he going to be able to get in the throttle like AJ in the green? Wow. Yeah, he's got it. Maybe. Wow. Oh, it's going to be.
He does. He's got him. 23.11 seconds. Wow. And Jimmy Johnson.
You're good.
We've got Lance on board. First time this year. We're really excited about that. So we've got a strong race car. I'm sure we'll give it a chance to run top 10, maybe even get it to victory lane.
Marco's currently fifth.
You know, Mike, I've been coming to Atlanta Motor Speedway in the spring since 1979. I never thought I'd see the day someone would complain about the sun in Atlanta in March.
Yeah, we've been snowed out here, Larry, quite famously. Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Chevrolet.
He's on a pole run.
Yes, he is.
That was not a pretty corner, but he's making it up. You know,
I believe he rolled out a little bit early and got back in it.
This is much better than what we had. I don't know if it's good enough. Great job, guys.
Oh, yeah.
28.90, 191.77. 47 cars here, so 4 will go home when we get to knockout qualifying in just a few minutes. Denny Hamlin carrying new colors, the Sport Clips Camry for Hamlin, who has one 4th place start and one 3rd place finish here at Atlanta.
I don't know how this car will qualify, but I know watching and listening to the interviews about Denny Hamlin, he's very, very happy with this race car, especially in race trim.
Wow. That's a happy car right there. Off turn 2.
He's got about a 10th in the bank going off into turn 3.
If he can just keep it, now he gets a whole lot more, but he's going to give it all back up coming off the exit of turn 4.
That number coming down.
Down.
I believe it's going to do it, though. It's going to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
29.58. He gave up a little bit, but he had enough in the bank getting into turn 3.
Larry, Jamie Mack qualified 3rd for this race last year. That was his only top 10 start of the season. But this year, new team, new deal, and he is the new Daytona 500 champion in the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet.
And you know, Darrell pointed it out in our post-race last week, just the people that got to go to victory lane with that win. You know, of course, Chip Ganassi, Felix Sabates, who has never been a part of winning the Daytona 500, Steve Neal. Of course, Tony Glover was there. Now, Tony won 3 500s as a crew chief, but the people that went there, and you talk about momentum, coming here to Auto Club Speedway from Daytona looking pretty good right now. I mean, this is looking solid.
Pegged, baby. Pegged.
When you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
When you're hot, you're hot.
He's over a 10th quicker than Clint Bowyer.
Get you some of that.
Wow.
39.18.
The Hartford Insurance Group, number 33 for Clint Bowyer. 5th trip to Darlington for Bowyer, whose best start this season is 3rd.
This is a backup car because he did crash in the first practice, but he did get some laps with this car in final practice session.
And he had his problems in turn 1 and 2, and he's up there flirting with that high line there, but he got through okay this time.
And he almost did it in practice qualifying in the final practice.
Out in this car here, in his backup car, and almost did it again, but got through there okay that lap.
His teammate, Kevin Harvick, ran a 27.94.
Mike, see right there how everybody's kind of cutting to the bottom.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that in practice. I don't know if they feel like there's a lot of grip down there or if it's for security.
That brings us now to the second of our 3 chase contenders. Kevin Harvick You see his best start here at Homestead, 5th back in 08.
Well, he'd love to start that good on Sunday.
Yeah, and this has been the one racetrack we talk about his qualifying problems, but he has a good average here as far as his qualifying efforts go. See if he can. Whoa,
Man,
a
he
bit
was
light
fighting
right
that thing
there.
getting in the corner. Like he was fighting that thing before he even got to the corner.
He has 6 top 10 qualifying efforts here in 9 prior starts. But right now, lap tracker going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, they fought tight with their race car all day. They freed it up right at the end, got him a little too loose, and I'm not sure that they got it back tight enough.
I don't think he's going to be real happy with this one. Here he comes across the line, and the numbers
not good.
14th right now out of 17.
Back at Kansas, and while we were away, Kenseth Kane jumped to the top of the speed chart in qualifying here for race number 3 of the chase. Our good friend Larry McReynolds always tells us it doesn't cost a dime to pay attention. Obviously, Kenny Francis and Kenseth Kane have paid attention to what was going on in between practice and qualifying.
Seemed like he did the same thing that David Reagan did. He eased the thing down into the corner, backed the corner up, we like to say it, and then really ran hard from the center off.
Kenseth Kane has his 19th career Cup pole, 3 this season, and when Kenseth Kane starts on the pole, good things happen. He's won 5 of his 11 races from the pole.
This has been a pretty good track for him qualifying, 13 top 10 starts. And right now, he is flirting with that time of 52.60 by Montoya. And you know, we were talking about the pole speed Kyle Busch laid down in June of this year, just 8 weeks ago. We're right at a half a second quicker than that now.
Larry, I noticed in turn 1 as well as the tunnel turn, Tony got out of the throttle a little bit early, got the car turned down in the corners, and both times went straight back to the throttle, made a lot of ground up on the exit of the corner.
And Jeff, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do here. He's working on being a 10 better. He's working on a 50 in his 14 car.
Yes, sir.
52-51.
A.J. Allmendinger in the Valvoline Ford. Boy, he's on a rocket right here. Another ex-road racer here at the Roval. That is Phoenix International Raceway. Can he put Petty's 43 on the pole? Yes.
And who would
26.73?
Probably no one in the whole field that he would rather beat than Scott Speed.
You're on the pole right now. If you got more, give it to it. If not, shut it down.
That's a great lap.
That's a Hobson's choice, isn't it?
And that's not near the surprise as Scott Speed, because A.J. was second quickest in that final practice session.
Good looking car.
Second lap was still pretty sporty, 26.80.
All right, buddy, we're on the pole right there at 73. Good job, guys.
Keep an eye on Elliott Sadler, one of the Ford drivers that was extremely fast in practice. Elliott had a win here in 2004.
And he's on the outside of the front row for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race.
He just nailed turn 1, Larry. He got through there. He is flying down his back straightaway.
Yeah, he's over a 10th faster than Greg Biffle right now, which would put him down in the 70s, and it's continuing to grow. Look at this lap time.
Get him, Elliott.
Bring it home. Bring it home, hero.
He's going to be in the 60s, it looks like.
This is what I'm talking about.
27.636. P1 indeed, 195.397 miles per hour. Kenseth Kane won from the pole here back in 2006. Just announced this week he'll be with Team Red Bull next season as he spends 1 year there before going to Hendrick Motorsports.
So by the time he gets to that Chevrolet in 2012, he pretty much will bat the cycle. And right now, it looks like he's batting for the pole with this 9 car. He is 38.465 for this 9 car.
The Bristol pole winner finished 16th at Richmond. It's only a second trip to Darlington, though.
Comes in here set. He really got through the middle of 1 and 2 good. I believe he put that throttle down and was able to stay
in the gas. That puts down a pretty sporty lap.
And he did the same thing through 3 and 4. Going to be a pretty good lap for him. 6th quickest for Joey. Lost a little bit late exit of turn 4.
But we've seen so many cars spin out, hit the wall. Exiting turn 4 has been a problem all day long.
27.54 the first lap. Logano wants more. He might get it.
Be a little little bit slower, I believe.
Yep. 5 p.m. Eastern on Speed. Matt Kenseth, 15th here last September. That was his best qualifying effort here since he started 4th back in 2000.
Yeah. Darrell, that was interesting on that tracker. He definitely soft pedaled it getting in the corner, and then he really picked up the throttle, but it's almost like when he drove across one of those seams, the car jumped up on him right there.
I mean, once he got back to the gas area, it just started sliding the nose up the hill. Just no front grip.
No birthday present here for Matt Kenseth, who turns 38 on the 10th.
Down in there a little better that time, but still lost a good bit of speed off it too. But that first lap, like the tires didn't have any heat in them.
Well, he's definitely going for this second one, and if you see the little yellow stripe there, that represents his first lap, so he may indeed improve on that first lap.
Matt Kenseth is one of those guys, if he sat out there and ran 10 laps, his 10th lap would be the fastest.
And he definitely picks it up.
29.05, 190.7. Today is Dallas Morning News qualifying day, and Joe last week in Phoenix.
But you saw right there on the graphic the difference after 7 races from a year ago to now, and that equates he scored 352 more points this year at this point versus last year.
Joey was 19th in practice, and it looks like that's right around where he's going to land.
He is the pole sitter for that Nationwide Series race tomorrow.